Okay, welcome everybody to our Wednesday night shiur from Congregation Hashem. Our shiur, B'ezrat Hashem, B'chazdei Hashem, is Refuah Shlema Daniel ben Eliyahu, the Rosa Shoshana. May Hashem bless him with Refuah Shlema ben Karov. It's also La'atzlachat, all of our dear congregants, to Gabriel Chai ben Leah, Ariel ben Miriam, Eliyahu ben Alexander. May they all find their zivug and get married this year.
Amen.
La'atzlachat to everybody here. May we all raise good children.
Amen.
Rabotai, we're in Shovavim. That one time of year that every Jewish fanatic loves. This is the time for the fanatics. What do I mean by that? There is a story in the Torah about a man called Zimri ben Salu, Nesi Beit Av l'Shimoni. What's Nesi Beit Av l'Shimoni? He was the head of the whole tribe of Shimon. Thousands of men, thousands of women. Sarei alafim, sarei revavot. He was head of 10,000. Now, just to give you guys a certain perspective, what does that mean to be head of a tribe? When Yehoshua was sent, Yehoshua was after Moshe, he was Moshe's successor, right? When he was sent with the spies to wander the land, to tour the land, la tour ta'aretz, the Torah says, shlach lecha nashim. The Baal HaTurim says he was Sarei Chamishim. What's Sarei Chamishim? He was a head of a congregation of 50 men. Yehoshua. He had 50 people in his shul. That's it. That's who he was. He was a rabbi of 50 people. Zimri ben Salu was a Nesi Bet Av. You know what Nesi Bet Av is? He was like chief rabbi of Israel. Thousands of Jews were under his command. Thousands. Torah says that during his time, the Midian is today what we know as Saudi Arabia. Now, I don't mean the Saudi Arabia of today, all the Muslims. Back then, Saudi Arabia was a bit different. It was a different kind of people. They sent their girls to make the Jews fall in Avera. Okay? They sent a princess. The harder it is, the bigger the stature of the woman, the more higher in power she is, the more excitement there is. You know, if you see excuse my language, a zona in the street, $50, $100, there's not that much excitement. But to get the daughter of the president, that's, if you get something like that, you're a giver. So they wanted to make Moshe Rabbeinu fall. As everybody knows, there's a famous midrash. She sees Zimri, the head of the tribe of Shimon. She thinks he's Moshe. She does kishuf on him. Now that Zimri was so innocent, she makes him fall in a trap. And the Gemara says, we know the famous midrash actually, Midrash Tanchuma, that Zimri was with Kozbi so many times that he made her kakvara. You know what kakvara is? It's like he was with her so many times, the Midrash says in Tanchuma, over 300 times he was with her. From so much ta'avot that he had, whether it was the kishuf or not, that the Midrash says he made her like a pancake. He smashed her to the floor. He filled her up with so much zera. That's what the Midrash Tanchuma says. And who comes? Pinchas. Who's Pinchas? The grandson of Aaron HaKohen, who wasn't a Kohen, because he was born before Hashem told Aaron he's going to be a Kohen. He comes with a romach, with the souls of Nadav and Avihu inside of him. He comes, takes the spear, and he kills them on the spot. And the Torah calls him a kanai. What's a kanai? Kanai is what they call today a fanatic. But a true fanatic. One that really does it for the sake of Hashem. And Hashem blesses with what? What does he bless Pinchas with? Peace. Shalom. Peace. The Ari HaKadosh says Zimri's story and Kozbi's story doesn't end over there. Zimri comes back in a Gilgul, in a reincarnation, as who? Rabbi Akiva. His soul is inside Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva fixed a couple of people, including Yaakov Avinu. Because Akiva and Yaakov are the same letter, says the Ari. But one of the souls that was inside Rabbi Akiva was Zimri ben Salu. How do we know? How many people died during the epidemic of Zimri? 24,000. How many students did Rabbi Akiva have? 24,000. Coincidence? No. The Ari was told by Eliyahu Navi, this was Zimri. Rabbi Akiva was Zimri. Who was Cosby?
Good question.
Good question.
His second wife?
Don't ruin the speech over here, okay? Come on.
I thought it was a good question.
Rabbi Akiva got married twice. His first wife was Rachel. We all know the famous story. He comes back after 24 years and 24,000 students, and they throw the girl to the side, and he says, guys, make way for her. Kriyat Yam Suf he makes. And he says, my Torah and your Torah, it's her Torah. From here we know, any woman that's listening to this speech, when you send your husband to learn Torah, don't think he's not spending time with you and make a shalom bayit problem. You're getting thousands of mitzvot. Your olam haba is unlimited. And he says, your Torah, Rachel is in a very high level. She dies. Rachel dies. Rabbi Akiva is a bachelor now. Now, just to put this into perspective, Rabbi Akiva is the most popular rabbi. Not because he's the smartest. He was not the smartest. As the Gemara in Masechet Yibamot says, that Rabbi Yonatan ben Harkinas told Rabbi Akiva that you're not even worth to be a shepherd of cattle. Rabbi Yonatan ben Harkinas was so smart he could put Rabbi Akiva in his back pocket. That's what the Gemara Masechet Yibamot says. And Rabbi Akiva, with his humbleness, said, I'm not even worth to be a shepherd of sheep. Forget about cattle, sheep. The Gemara says that Torah was not given to the smart people, it was given to the humble people. Moshe kibel Torah mis Sinai. What's mis Sinai? Moshe didn't get the Torah from Har Sinai, he got the Torah on Har Sinai. Am I right or wrong? So why does it say the Torah, Moshe got the Torah from Sinai? Just as Sinai was the most humble, just as Sinai was the most humble mountain, Moshe only got the Torah because he was the most humble. He wasn't the smartest Moshe, by the way. Korach was much smarter than Moshe, says the Ari. In Shara Pisukim,
He was more humble.
yes, Korach was much smarter than Moshe. There's a famous midrash that says that Korach used to tell the people, says, you guys want this guy as your chief rabbi? He's not worth to be your chief rabbi. Every 3 hours he learns, he leaves for a cigarette break. He goes to smoke a pipe. Yeah, they used to smoke pipes back then. Baal Shem Tov used to smoke a pipe. Moshe used to smoke a pipe. Yes. And he says, I don't need a break. I learned 12 hours straight. No break for me. Who do you want as your chief rabbi? Any halacha. He used to make people crazy like that. Korach was much smarter than Moshe, but still who got the Torah? Moshe. Because he was more humble. Okay? Now Rabbi Akiva, when his wife died, like I said, he wasn't the most smartest guy, but still he was zocheh to spread the Torah from his 5 students, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, Rabbi Meir Balanis, Rabbi Yehuda Bar Ilai, Rabbi Yosef ben Halafta, and Rabbi Elazar ben Shamoa, which all of our Mishnayot is based on these 5 rabbis. Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Yosef, and Rabbi Elazar. The Gemara says in Masechet Yibamot, page 63b, you're not allowed to stay single. You're not allowed. Baboker zra et zarecha, uba'erev al tenach yadecha. Even if you're 70 years old, you have to get remarried. The Gemara says you have to get married in your old age. You're not allowed to stay without a wife. So how did big rabbis like Rav Ovadia Yosef, they didn't get remarried a second time? They relied on a maharam means. The Otzara Poskim brings the name of the maharam means that if you're going to get remarried a second time and you feel that you're not going to be able to learn as much Torah, you don't have to get remarried if you're already 70, 80 years old and you feel like, what's the whole point of the desire to go through it again? Alright, anyways, I don't have the urge anymore. Right? So that's what big rabbis used to rely on. Like Rav Ovadia, they wouldn't get remarried a second time. After the first wife, I'm already, my Yetzirah is gone. What's the point? Of course, only Rav Ovadia could say, Baba Sali, for example, fix me if I'm not making a mistake, he got married 4 times.
Yes.
4 times he got married. He never stayed without a wife. Rav Kaduri?
103.
103 years old he was when he got remarried a second time.
What happened to them? They passed away?
Yeah, their wives passed away. They outlived them. And they got remarried. Baba Sali got remarried 4 times.
Full 3 wives passed away.
Yes. He got remarried 4 times.
Wow.
Rav Kaduri, as my brother just said, he got remarried at the age of 103. They wouldn't stay without Chacham Menachem Menashe got remarried at the age of like 64. They wouldn't stay without a wife. The Gemara says you're not allowed to stay without a wife. According to the name of Rav Nachman. Not in Breslev. Rav from the Gemara. Don't make a mistake yet. The Rivnitzer Rebbe. How old was he when he got remarried? He was very old. These rabbis they wouldn't stay without a wife. They would take the Gemara to the letter of the law. Now they wouldn't get married. I remember my Rosh Yeshiva when I was in Chafetz Chaim, Harav Leibowitz. He got remarried too a second time. He was like more than 70 for sure. He was already. I remember I was visiting him on Shabbat. They wouldn't stay without a wife, and his wife was like 20, 30 years younger than him. But it wasn't marriage for the sake of levalot, to enjoy yourself. It was marriage just because I know pat besalo. I have bread in my basket. Like Yosef HaTzadik said to Potiphar's wife, my master only let me away from what? The bread. What's the bread, says the Rashi? That's Potiphar's, that's the wife. Okay? So Rabbi Akiva, when he got very old, he had a very big nemesis, antagonist. Who was that? Tornosropos. Tornosropos, who was the governor of Judea, he hated Rabbi Akiva. He did anything he could to kill him. At the end, he did. The one who took the iron combs and ripped Rabbi Akiva's face off, that's how he died, by the way. They took iron combs, like a brush, out of iron, and they scraped his face off. That's how he died. And when they got to the tefillin, he said Shema Yisrael, and when he said Echad, his soul came out. And the crazy thing was, Rabbi Akiva said, all my life I wish to die like that. All my life to die in Kiddush Hashem. And Rav Yosef Karo, the writer of the Shulchan Aruch, many people don't know this, in his book Magid Mesharim, in which he says all the Torah he got from the angel from heaven. People think that the Shulchan Aruch was just some guy who wrote halachot based on the Rif, the Rosh, and the Rambam. That's not true. The Shulchan Aruch had a Magid. A Magid, an angel coming from heaven teaching him Torah. So the Baal Shulchan Aruch, Yosef Karo, said, all my life I wish to die the death of Shlomo Molcho. Who is Rav Shlomo Molcho? Rav Shlomo Molcho was a guy, if I'm not mistaken, he was a Marano, a converso. During the Spanish Inquisition, some Jews used to make believe that they're Kritmach outside, but inside their house they used to be Jewish. After many generations, the kids already didn't know they were Jewish. All they saw was their mothers lighting Shabbat candles. That was the only thing they knew. So he was one of those kids. His name was Emmanuel something something. Emmanuel is a very Spanish name. A very Kritmach Spanish name. It's not a good name. The Kritmachs, the cross, people of the cross, they say that their God's name is Emmanuel. That's why many Spanish people, the real ones who believe in the cross, they name a lot of their kids Emmanuel. So his name was Emmanuel de Algo, something like that. He was very close to the king of Spain. He met this guy who claimed that his name was David Aruveni. He came from one of the 10 lost tribes, and they tried to convert the Pope. It's a very long story, I don't want to get into it. It's a very exciting story. They went on this whole crusade in Europe, trying to convert people to Judaism. And who? Kings. They got to the Emperor of Germany and France. Wow. They were so successful because it was a very big time of believing Mashiach was coming. And I can't get to the whole story right now, but they got to a point where the emperor said, if you could they got to the Pope. And the Pope said, if you convince the emperors to convert, I'm going to convert you to Judaism. We were very close to Mashiach during that time. There's even a book of the visions that Rav Shlomo Molcho had. Basically, they got to the emperor, and the emperor didn't want to hear anything of it. Or there was the Pope, I'm not really sure, one or the other. He put David Ruveni in jail. He probably died in jail. We don't know what happened to him. And Rav Shlomo Molcho, they tied him up to the stake. They tried to burn him alive. When the fire died, they saw no body. This is the words of Yosef Karo. No. He said the Shem Kadosh and he disappeared. Rav Shlomo Molcho. Karachi, they catch him a couple of times. Every time he says Shem Kadosh, he was a converso, he was a Marano. And he got to such a state. The Magid Mesharim says that he learned with Rav Shlomo Molcho, Rav Yosef Karo. in his book Magid Mesharim, what happened at the end of R.Shalom Molcho, when they caught him in the last time, they put duct tape on his mouth. They tied his mouth so he couldn't say anything. And they burnt him alive while he was saying Shema Yisrael. So Rav Yosef Karo writes in his book Magid Mesharim, the writer of the Shulchan Aruch, I wish to die a death of R.Shalom Molcho. I wish to die like that. Tzaddikim, death and living is not the way we perceive it. For them, it was the only one thing. How to be more close to Hashem. One of the rabbis we're going to visit in Ukraine, the first rabbi we're going to visit him, Mamash on his yard site. He's buried in Hadich, the Balatanya of Shneir Zalman Miladi. The great Balatanya, the chief student of the Maggid Mizrich. He wrote a whole Shulchan Aruch. He had a very famous saying. I use the saying a lot when I try to talk to Hashem. It's a very heartfelt saying. He used to say one thing. When he used to speak to God, he used to say, guys, such a strong sentence. He used to say, Hashem, I don't want Torah. I don't want Olam Haba. I don't want Mashiach. All I want is you. Such a strong sentence, Rabotai. When we think about it, we're all over here learn Torah. What do we learn Torah for? We can't lie. We all have a certain...
For reward.
When we learn Torah, we have a... Like, oh, he knows halachot. He could quote pages. He could quote halachot. He knows all of Orach Chaim. He knows Yoreh De'ah. He could go like this, shh, and say what page is in the Gemara. Balatanya says this is all nothing. All I want is Hashem. I could be the lowest guy in the world. I could be a garbage cleaner. Rav Ashlag, the great Rav Ashlag. He used to pray in a minyan with people who used to clean the streets. Regular people. He used to say, these people are real of the Hashem. I want to pray with them. The Baal Shem Tov, famous story. We're also going to visit him, by the way, Rabbi Yisrael Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov, anything he used to do, anything, he used to make yichudim. What's yichudim? Let's say I pick up my cup, right? How do you say cup in Hebrew?
Kos.
Kos. Chaf is how much? How do you spell kos? Chaf is how much? 20. Vav is how much? 6. Samech is how much? 60. Altogether, 86. 86, Gematria Elokim. He wouldn't move a bone in his body without thinking of Hashem's name. One time, I saw this book in the book Sarfei Kodesh. This amazing book that I came across in a bookstore. He took his pipe. He used to smoke a lot, the Baal Shem Tov. I'm not telling the people on the video to smoke. Smoking is not good unless you're already addicted and Hashem Ya'azor. He used to take his pipe. One time he took his pipe and he put it on the table without making a yichud, a connection. Because pipe in Hebrew is ashan. Ashan in Hebrew is the notrikon, is the acronym for akrav, scorpion, saraf, a certain kind of viper, v'nachash, a snake. When the tzaddikim used to smoke their pipes, like the Baal Shem Tov, they used to have kavanah to destroy these 3 klipot. That's why they used to smoke. One time, by mistake, he took his pipe and he put it on the table without thinking about it. He heard Bat Kol in Shamayim, the Baal Shem Tov, saying, you lost your Olam Haba. He was on such a level that even one thing he did without the sake of Hashem, he lost his Olam Haba. He was so happy, the Baal Shem Tov, that he lost his Olam Haba. He got up. He took all of his Hasidim, Rav Tzvi Sofer, Rav Pinchas Mizeks. He took everyone, Rav Yaakov Yisrael Polana, the Maggid Mizrich. He took everyone, started to dance. He says, Rebbe, why are you dancing? I said, I just lost my Olam Haba. He says, Rebbe, can we feel your forehead a bit? You know, today they have a certain thing to check the thermometer. It's from the ear. So I said, we have some special thing. Let's check your fever from the ear, exactly how bad it is. They see over there, it's normal. 98.6. I'm not wrong, right? 98.6 is the normal. 98.6. His Rebbe, what's going on over here? He says, you don't understand. Finally, I could serve Hashem without any different kind of feeling of reward. When they heard that, they all fainted on the floor. That's the Baal Shem Tov. That's the Baal Shem Tov. Who's the Baal Shem Tov? We go to the Baal Shem Tov, we go to the Lubavitcher Rebbe, we go to the Ari HaKadosh. We don't know who they are. We put our hands like this. Hashem, forgive. Do what you... Rabotai, you know who you're standing in front of? Their souls are on their kever. Their souls, it's on the kever itself. You don't feel it. It's on the kever. It's on the kever. It's on the kever. You don't understand. They're rapach mitzvah. They're 288 sparks of their soul is man. It's on the kever. You're speaking to him. He listens to you. He's your agent to Hashem. He's your agent. How could you not feel free? Do you know? There was one rabbi, his name was Rav Yosef Voltoch. He used to go to all the kvarim in Eretz Yisrael, all the Tanaim Amoraim. He used to go with a rabbi. He was a tzaddik nistar. He used to call them raglei barzel. What's raglei barzel? Feet made out of steel. This guy was a choloch. You know what a choloch is? He used to go on, he was a limp. When he used to tell them, let's go to Kivrei Tzadikim, grave of the righteous, suddenly, like, his legs were made out of steel. He used to jump on top of mountains. Mountains, valleys, to get to the Kivrei Tzadikim. Why? He knew the meaning. He knew the meaning. The great Sandlar HaKadosh, Rabbi Moshe Yaakov Ribakov, what you guys don't know, many of my shirim I get from his sefer. I prayed at his grave in Bnei Brak. When he used to go to a Brit Milah, at the end of his life, he was on, what do you call those? Crutches. When he was in a Brit Milah, he used to drop the crutches, he used to start dancing like he was a kid again. Tzadikim, Rabotai, la tzadikim. But, all these things that I'm telling you, it's only on one condition. You want to reach that level, you have to reach that level. This is your tikun. Did you know that? Your tikun is to reach that level. You guys have to understand one thing. The great Rav Zusha Ma'anipoli, who guess what? We're going to visit his grave. Rav Zusha Ma'anipoli, which there were two brothers of Elimelech Medezhensk and Rav Zusha Ma'anipoli. They were two brothers. Basically, they were like Moshe and Aharon. They loved each other so much, they used to go to Galut together. There was a famous story how they once fought off witches in Ukraine. I'm not going to get into the story right now. Rav Zusha Me'anipoli, he was great. He was the younger brother. And one time he told his students, he says, guys, I'm going to be truthful to you. We're not going to live forever. We're not going to live forever. We're going to die one day. And you're not taking your money with you. You're not taking your house with you. You're not taking your car with you. You're not taking your bank account with you. And he says, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Many people die. I personally saw this past week. I learned in 71st. Over there, all the big sheds. So one big guy passed away. He left a lot of money behind. Now every son that he has sits well. Well, when I say well, I'm talking about well. $1 million went missing over there. Instead of finding out how to do nachat ruach to the dead, what are they fighting for? Where did the $1 million go? Now I only heard this behind the curtains, if you know what I mean. My hearing is very well. Now, what are they going to say after 120 years in Shamayim? Instead of worrying about nachat ruach for whoever relative it was for them, I don't want to get into it. What are you guys worried about? Where's the $1 million? You know, when we pass away, when you go to Shamayim, there is no bribery over there. My friend today went to court for a traffic ticket. He said he saw the lawyer bribe the judge. And the cop, not the judge. He said he saw it. Everything the lawyer said, dismissed. There's no bribing up there. You know you don't see Hashem when you go up there, right? You don't see Hashem. Hashem is not there. You don't see Him. You can't see Hashem, even if you're in the Shema. You know who you see? You see 3 tzaddikim. Whoever they are. They sit as a Beit Din. Right next to them sits the sofer of the Beit Din. Malach Safrikeh. He has a book. That book you signed every single night. You! Over there is written all the mitzvot and averot that you did. No excuses. Olam ha'emet. They're going to ask you, Moishi, David, Yisroel, Abo, Grisha, we gave you certain amount of time to live. We gave you certain capabilities that we didn't give your friend. Let's see how you took advantage of that. And they're going to show you your life, your thoughts, and who you could have been. Rav Zusha Ma'ani Poli says to his students, guys, I think Rav Zusha is here. Rav Zusha Ma'ani Poli said to his students, they're not going to ask you how come you weren't Moshe Rabbeinu. Hashem doesn't want you to be Moshe. Hashem doesn't want you to be Rav Ovadia Yosef. By the way, this is the biggest minus that rabbis have in this generation. They're running after a dream that cannot be. You're not going to be Rav Ovadia Yosef. You know why? Your name is not Rav Ovadia. You know why they're going to ask you? How come you weren't Moshe? How come you weren't Israel? How come you weren't David? How come you weren't who you were supposed to be? And that's going to be the crush. That's going to be the question that you have no answer to. You know why? Because you could have achieved that. You had the tools to achieve that. You only had one thing that was stopping you. Yourself. Because Hashem gave you free will. Now what's to say that you can't finish Shas? What's to say that you can't finish Mishnayot? What's to say you can't finish Zohar, Gemara? What's to say you can't finish the Ariya? What's to say you can't come to Shiur Torah? You know what? The biggest musar I'm telling myself. Why? Tonight I wasn't supposed to give a Shiur. Why? My wife was not supposed to be home. Was not supposed to be home. I said, no, I'm going to take a week off, this week off. Lately I've been giving a lot of shiurim. I want to be home with my kids. My wife comes to me afterwards and says, I forgot today was Wednesday. You're going to cancel your shiur because I have to go somewhere? I'm supposed to be a guy who learns Torah all day. I'm supposed to be thinking like that. And she usually never thinks like that. Hashem was saying to me, look at the mirror. That's what you were supposed to be saying. You're going to stop saying Torah. Maybe one person out there is going to listen to the shiur and be chozer b'tshuva. And you said no? And you know what the crazy thing was? You know how I know this was all from Hashem? Because when she canceled her trip, the person who she was supposed to go to said she also canceled because something happened. The trip wasn't supposed to happen at all anyways. So I was supposed to say I was supposed to give the shiur. That was the proof. I said to me, I looked at the mirror, I said, Shalom. Hineni notenot briti shalom. But you messed up. Now this whole shiur is her zechut. And I messed up. You know, this is my musar for myself. Imagine if I was, I know I'm going to give it. I could have gone 10,000 levels up in Shamayim. 10,000 levels up. But I missed it out. I messed up. Now when Hashem gives you an invitation, you know Hashem gives you an invitation? Hashem is with you every single step of your life. Hashem sends you invitations every single day. He says, David, you're supposed to do A, B, C. You get these invitations. You don't know that you get them. You know when you get them? In the night. When you go to sleep. When you're up there in Shamayim, Hashem sends you invitations. Today you're supposed to do this chesed, you're supposed to do this mitzvah, you're supposed to do this. The invitations are in your pocket. Do you know how Hashem feels when you take those invitations and you rip them up into 10 pieces and you burn them? Srefat chametz, you tell Hashem, I'm burning my chametz. Do you know how Hashem feels? Do you ever have that during the day? Somebody comes to you and says, "Come, let's finish a minyan. We have 9. Let's get 10." He says, come on, somebody else is good. You know Hashem is speaking to you then. And you know when is the biggest test? When you have an urge to do something that's against the Torah. Hashem is waiting for you. He's saying, Israel, David, don't do it. I'm waiting for you. If you're not going to do this Averah, I'm telling you right now, you're going to make the biggest Kiddush Hashem in Shamayim. Everyone's waiting for you. The whole Shamayim, they're in lockdown. Lahavdil elef havdalot. You know, in let's say a basketball team or a football team, when the best player is out, then suddenly during the Super Bowl, the best player comes back. All the crowd is quiet. He comes out of the arena. He comes into the arena. You could hear a pin drop. I remember I was in 4th grade. I had a teacher, Mr. Adelson. He was a big NBA fan. He once told us a story when he once went to NBA Finals. I forget the name of the player, the athlete. He wasn't supposed to play in the finals. But at the end, he came to the finals. He said, I was at the game. I don't know who it was. He said, you could hear a pin drop to the floor. Rabotai, I don't want to swear. Every time you have a test from Shamayim, the whole Shamayim goes blank. They're waiting for you. You could hear a pin drop in Shamayim. And they say, what is he going to do? Is he going to stop himself? Or is he going to do the Avera? And if you stop yourself, if you hold yourself back, you know what goes on in Shamayim, Rabotai? The Baal Shem Tov says it's like Kiryat Yamsuf. You just split the sea. You just split the sea. I can't say the 4-letter word, I don't curse. You just split the sea.
The bleep.
And you know what they say when Hashem split the sea? A servant saw what Yecheskel ben Buzi didn't see in the Maaseh Merkava. But there is a condition to all this. There's one condition. You see, Hashem created one vessel. This vessel is so powerful. The chesed la'alafim. I did my research. Even though I wasn't going to give a shiur today, but I did my research. The chesed la'alafim, Rabbi Elazar Papa, who's buried in Bulgaria. One of the great poskim. The first time I heard about him was when my brother went to Moznaim to buy his book, Chesed La'alafim. I'm like, who's this rabbi? Chesed La'alafim. What kind of name is that? Chesed La'alafim. Call yourself Notzer Chesed already. What's Chesed? Today I learn his words every day. Chesed La'alafim says, there is one midah in Shamayim. You could be Mechalel Shabbat, mitzvot masim, but if you have this midah, nobody could touch you. The Malach HaMashchit can't touch you. The Malachi Chabala can't touch you. You know that angel with all the eyes? He can't touch you. He can't even look at you. When he looks at you, you go like, oh, can't look at this guy. He's too holy. Shmirat habrit. Shmirat habrit, Rabotai. Don't spill your seed in vain. Shmirat habrit. What's Shmirat Habrit, Rabotai? It's Shovavim. I remember one big rabbi who I can't say his name. He once had a student. He was caught by the IRS. You know the story. Don't laugh. He was caught by the IRS. $50,000 bank fraud. White washing money. Laundering. How you call laundering money? Laundering money. The IRS caught him, you know. I remember. Lahavdil elef havdalot. Lahavdil elef havdalot. You know, sometimes people scam you. So I got this call from a scam. I won't forget this day. I was still living in my old apartment, 636. He knows what I'm talking about. I was living over there, and it was a Friday. You know, Friday I need atzabim over there. Why? Because I gotta do shopping for my house. I gotta do shopping for my mom's house. I gotta do shopping for the shul. I gotta clean the shul. I gotta put on the water. I need atzabim. I'm nervous on Friday. I gotta go to Marot class. And I get this call. Sounds like Indian, but not so Indian. Hello, we found out that you're. I'm a simple guy. I don't know what these things are. We found out that you're $10,000 you owe the IRS. I didn't know that I paid that. I'm a cold. I don't pay taxes. I'm on scholarship. He's like, no. I'm like, I'm starting like, what do you mean? He said, you got to give us your debit card. I'm like, listen, I got nothing in my bank. I don't know what you're gonna take out of there. And he starts. He said, I'm putting you on my manager. The manager says, listen, if you're not gonna pay us in 10 minutes, the cops are coming to your house. I'm like, what cops? We're sending helicopters. The exact words I'm saying. I'm like, well, this happened. Does this just happen in the movies? I don't get it. I'm saying the truth. was a Friday. And they closed the phone on me. I got so scared. I was so scared. I think I went to like Har Sinai. We went to Olam Haba and came back down. Today I look back at it and I'm like, if only I'm afraid of Hashem like that. Today I look back at that. I'm like, only if I was afraid of Hashem. I called my wife 20 minutes. I'm like, Yochevet, I'm about to die over here. They're saying, I'm going to jail. You could ask my mother. I told her I'm going to jail. He tells me, Shalom, relax. It's a scam. I'm like, how do you know it's a scam? It looks like a real number. Virginia, I have the area code. It's a scam. Relax. That's what they do to people. Look, how many minutes past 10 minutes? The helicopters come. No helicopter. They don't need you. Trust me. Nobody needs you in jail. They have bigger fish to fry. Today I look back at it's a big musar v'asket. Imagine every time we had a chance to do Zara Lavatala, we would think like that. Trust me, we would never do an Avera in our life.
It's going to be a lot of helicopters.
Yeah, there is, by the way, there is a lot of helicopters out there.
We just don't see it.
Exactly, we just don't see it. And when we get up to Shamayim, the helicopters are going to come for us. And then we're really going to be scared. Now, I'm not talking about some 15-year-old who died, who came back and saw Gog Magog. I'm not talking about some guy who died in a drug overdose for 2 minutes in a cab. We don't need to listen to those things. We have Torah. We have the Torah. It's eternal. It's unlimited. We're the Jewish nation. Okay? The Torah says, I read to you, Masechet Nida, Daf Yud Gimel Amud Aleph. Masechet Nida, last tractate in the Gemara. The Gemara says when a man goes to the bathroom, he can't hold his ever. That's the code word for it. He can't hold his ever when he goes to the bathroom. The Gemara says why. Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan says, Kol hamotzi shichvat zera levatala. Anyone who spills his seed, married, single, old, young, chayav mita. He deserves death. I'm going to read it again. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Kol hamotzi shichvat zera levatala, chayav mita. He deserves death. He deserves to die. The Gemara continues. Rabbi Yitzchak, Rabbi Ami Amri. Rabbi Yitzchak and Rabbi Ami say, Ki'ilu shofech, they're not arguing on Rabbi Yochanan, they're adding to Rabbi Yochanan. Ki'ilu shofech damim. They are killers. The Gemara, we're in Shovavim, Rabotai. This is the time to fix the sin of Zera Levatala. Ki'ilu shofech damim. It's as if he took a gun and he went and he took a gun and started killing Jews. And it's worse because it's like he's killing his own kids. He took a gun with a machine gun and killed hundreds of them. The Gemara doesn't stop. Rav Asi Amar, Rav Asi says, Ki'ilu oved oved kochavim. He's an idol worshipper. When you do Zer Levatala, when you waste your seed, I don't like saying it out loud. I always try to say shtuyot, or I try to use a code word. But for the sake of the shiur, I have to speak explicitly. He's an idol worshiper, Rav Asi says. Oved avodat kochavim. You serving at the moment a person does Zer Levatala, it's like he went to a church, he took the holy water, and he said, Hombala, Jumbala, whatever they say over there. He went on his knees, and he bowed down to it. To a naked guy on the cross. A naked Jew.
Yeah.
I mean, for one thing to bow down to a guy, but to bow down to a Jew, come on. The Gemara continues. Amar Rav. Rav says it doesn't stop over there. Yeah, it's one thing if you waste it. The Gemara says. I'm not reading you Zohar. Even though if I would read you to the Zohar right now, I promise you.
You won't sleep tonight.
Not just you won't sleep tonight.
2 weeks you haven't sleep. Not tonight.
You're gonna want another brief milah. This time with the better sandak than you had during back then. You know what a sandak is, or what? Sandak. He's the kisei hakavod of the child. Amar Rav. Rav said, "Hamakshe atzmo ladat." Some people think they're smart. How are they smart? I'm not gonna do zar levatala. I'm just gonna look at her and I'm gonna enjoy it, and I'm gonna cause myself to get to the edge. Let's call it. I'm gonna get myself to the edge. I'm gonna make myself. I don't wanna get into it. It's also a 4-letter word. I'm gonna, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna see it. You know what the Gemara says about that? Seeing is more enjoyable than actually doing the action. To look at something, to enjoy from the view, as they say, eye candy. That's what they used to call it in my day. I think today they call it something else. Eye candy.
Why eye?
Yeah.
Why eye?
Huh?
Why eye?
It's candy for the eyes.
Oh, eye. Oh.
You're from the other generation. You're above me, one generation. That's more enjoyable. That means if I would open up my brain and I would put electron nodes on my what's the part called where you feel the pleasure? Hypothalamus? Hypothalamus. There's a part of your brain that's the pleasure center. And I would do looking versus actually doing it. The guy who's looking is enjoying much more than the guy who's actually spilling.
So you can always go back to your memory.
And you know what? Rabotai, anything that you see, the Magid Mimizrich, who guess what? We're also gonna do. He says, you know when they come back to you, those things that you saw when you were a kid, you know when they come back to you? Dafka when you're saying Shmona Yisrael.
Amidah, everything.
Amidah. But they don't come to you during the day. When you're praying Shmona Yisrael, suddenly the video that you saw pops into your brain. You know why? Do you know why? When you're praying Shmona Yisrael, you're bringing an immense shefa. Absag ma'uben. You're bringing an immense shefa. When you thought of that thing, Hashem is sending you a message. Hello. You could. If you would have stopped yourself, it's like you would have prayed Shmona Yisrael during that time. How do you like that? How do you like that? The Gemara says, "Hamakshe atzmo ladat." I don't do it. I just look and I enjoy. Yehe benidui. He's excommunicated. You know what excommunicated means? Let me explain to you. That whole day, all your tefillot don't go up. That means if you wake up in the morning and before you prayed shacharit, you had a nice little thought, you have to pray shacharit, don't get me wrong. But your wishes that you ask for, they're mid-air. They're not going to go up. Now you understand how come some people say in the shul, the mechitzot, when you have a mechitza, you have to make sure nobody sees anything. Now you understand how come people say when you go to a shiur, make sure the boys and the girls are totally separated. The Gemara says you're in nidui. Machloket Ramban and Rambam. Rambam says the rabbis excommunicated you. Ramban says from heaven they excommunicated you. When you look at something, you didn't even do the sin, but you thought of it and you enjoyed it, you're in excommunication that whole day. Why? Yetzer hara wasn't inside of you. You took him and you said, "Come, let's be friends." You said, "Come, let's do it." You asked for the Yetzer hara. That's worse. When you ask for it, don't ask for the Yetzer hara. The Gemara continues. Amar Rabbi Ami. It's a whole Gemara here on Zera Levatala. A whole Gemara. Masechet Nida Daf Yud Gimel if you want to see it in your free time. Amar Rabbi Ami. Nikra Avaryan. You know what Avaryan is?
Gangster.
I love that. You're a gangster. And you know what? Gangster down here is something cool. Up there, gangsters only go one place. To hell. You know, all dogs go to heaven. You know, there was a cartoon back then, right? All gangsters go to hell. Yeah, that's what happens. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you a chidush. Today I was looking up a crazy halakha. Are goyim obligated in wasting their seed or no? Doing zera levatala. What do you think?
It's argument, no? Some say yes, some say no.
The Rambam and the Tosfot hold that they're not obligated. Why? They don't have to bring kids. If you don't have to bring kids, then you're not obligated in zera levatala. But the Ramban, the Rashba, and the Ran, three huge Rishonim, all hold that they are obligated.
Because the kids might be Jewish.
You know why? Because one of the 7 mitzvot b'nei Noach, one of the 7 Noahide laws, is not to kill. And what do we just read in the Gemara? When you're wasting your seed, you're killing. Guess what? It's included. That's what the Ramban, the Rashba, and the Ran say. And their Chidushim and the Gemara, Masechet Sanhedrin. Even the Goyim are obligated to hold themselves. And the only reason the whole generation of the flood was destroyed, ki yishchit kol basar et darko al haaretz. It's so bad, this Avera, that even Rabbi Akiva, when he was 80 years old, got remarried. How do you like that? And who did he get remarried to? The most beautiful Roman princess, the wife of Tornos Ropos, who eventually killed him. She left her husband, she converted, and she married Rabbi Akiva. That's how he became rich. She's so beautiful that when he saw her, he laughed, he cried, and he spit on the floor. Why did he laugh? He saw in Ruach HaKodesh, why are you walking around like you're all that? One day you're going to be my wife. Don't think your beauty means something. You're mine anyways. He cried because one day your beauty is going to be turned into ashes. Your beauty doesn't last. After one childbirth, that's it, it's gone.
Yeah.
And he spat on the floor, you know why? To remind himself that every human being was once upon a time just a piece of liquid. That's all we were, a piece of liquid. Do you understand, Rabotai? The Gemara says, and I'm going to end with this Gemara. This is the scariest Gemara. When I read this Gemara, I said to myself, back in the days, it's not even worth it to do the Avera anymore. Amar Rabbi Ami. Rabbi Ami says, by the way, I prayed by his grave. When I went to Eretz Israel, I prayed by his grave. I made sure to go to his grave. Amar Rabbi Ami says, Kol hamevi atzmo lidei hirhur. You're walking outside, you have nothing to think about. So you specifically want to think about that. Immorality. Ein machnisin oto b'michitzato shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. After 120 years, he gets to all the levels of Olam Haba. He gets to Avraham Avinu, Yitzhak Avinu. But once a week, you get to go into Hashem's yeshiva. They don't let you in. They don't let you in over there. Amar Rabbi Elazar. What does it mean, the pasuk, your hands are filled with blood? Those are the guys who do Zer Levatala with their hands. Beyad. The Gemara says, En ben David ba, Mashiach cannot come until those people who do Zer Levatala will stop doing it. He can't come. He won't come until we stop doing it. Now there's many allusions to Zer Levatala. You know, when you go to shul and you speak in shul, there's two brits. There's the brit milah of your body and there's the brit milah of your head. The brit milah of your head is your tongue, by the way. That's your brit. When you speak in the shul, it's like you're doing Zer Levatala with your mouth. When you say the F curse, when you say a 4-letter word, it's like you're doing Zer Levatala with your tongue. Especially if you speak during Chazara and Kriyat Sefer Torah, forget about it. It's like you're killing people. You know why? Every time you read Sefer Torah, Refuah Shlema is coming to this world. And when you speak during Sefer Torah, you're taking their Refuah Shlema away from them. People who have cancer, lo aleinu, could be cured from that. You know that? Avigdor Miller used to say that. People who have cancer pray in a shul where people don't speak during Sefer Torah. Does that mean if my shul speaks right now, I have to run away? No. You gotta fix the shul.
What could it
according to Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, walking with a gun on Shabbat is okay. Now, how do we do a tikun? Rabotai, the tikunim are a lot. I suggest 2 kinds of tikunim. First tikun, to make a tikun for all that time you spoke in the shul during Sefer Torah and Chazara. First tikun I suggest, Ta'ani Dibur for 1 day. Ta'ani Dibur. Asiri Kodesh La'ashev. It's a Kohen. What do you say? When you do Ta'ani Dibur, it's like you're fasting, but for the mouth. Yes. And if you do Ta'ani Dibur on Shabbat, it's like 10,000 fasts. And if you read Tehillim 3 times while you do Ta'ani Dibur, forget about it. It's 26,500 fasts. Says Rav Noam Elimelech. And if you do Ta'ani Dibur, reading 3 times Tehillim, and you take a metal wire and you wrap it around your legs 3 times, you're doing 26,500 fasts, plus you're doing tikkun for being with a goya. And I once did it for someone, by the way. He doesn't come to this shul no more. He left us.
You cured him?
I did, by the way. And he got married and he passed all of his tests and everything. Yeah. And he listened to me. When I told him do something, he did it. He didn't say, He did every little tikkun I said. I said, you gotta fast for this, you gotta fast for that, you gotta fast for this, 3 times for this, 4 times for that. You gotta put the thing, get off work. And he listened to me. And he did it and he was successful. Today he doesn't even live in New York. Doesn't matter. He did all those things. And another guy, he did all those things and it also helped him out. You know why? Your soul has a khulda. You know what a khulda is? A stain, a rust. To fix rust is not like washing it in the dry cleaners. You need fire. Esh b'nei oret. You need to burn the rust away. How do you burn? By fasting. Fast is heat. When you fast, you're burning your body. You're burning your neshama. If a person was with a goya, shovavim can't help you. You know that, right? Shovavim doesn't help you. To go to for being with a goya, you know what you gotta do, kind of tikkun. For Zera Lavatala, the Zohar HaKadosh says, Gadol Avenot. The Zohar HaKadosh says, Kain is a tzaddik next to you. I'm not lying. Open up the Drisha. In Seif Siman Chav Gimel, Even HaEzer. Open it up, the Drisha. Rabbi Yeshua Polak. He says, the Zohar HaKadosh says, whoever does Zera Lavatala, he's the worst person in the world. It's not even written in the Torah explicitly. That's how bad it is. It was so obvious to the Torah. When Yaakov Avinu saw Rachel, what did he do? He kissed her. You know what the Midrash says the shepherds wanted to do to him in that moment? They took baseball bats and wanted to crack his head. He says, 500 years ago we just had a flood. You want to bring another flood? They wanted to crack Yaakov's head. Yaakov Avinu, Bechir Shabbat. Why? Because he kissed a 5-year-old girl on the head. And today we go to our aunts, Mochi, Achoch. Come on, Rabbi, she's 60 years old. What do you mean she's 60 years old? En abizrai da'arayot. En apotropos la'arayot, I'm sorry. There's no guarantee for arayot. We go on dates. We hold her hand. Oh, come on, I'm just trying. What's it supposed to mean? You're a Yehudi? Or you're a Goy? Or you're a Goy? That's what Goyim do. They go to public school. They do Zera Lavatala. I remember until today, I'll never forget this. This professor is going to burn in hell. I was in college. Rahman Ali Islam. My Hashem helped me do teshuvah, and I was there for a reason. If I tell you the story, what happened, why I went to college, and how it happened that I couldn't do whatever I wanted to do afterwards, you guys are going to say Hashem runs this world. It's a story for another time. It's mamash hashgacha pratit. I had a professor for psychology. You could tell that I'm a psychology kind of guy. You know how I used to finish his class? Enjoy your dreams, both wet and dry. That's what he used to say. And everybody's laughing, ha 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 ha. And I'm sitting there with a kippah and a peot, like this. Hashem, where is the gun? Please. Well, that's what the goyim do. They do znut v'arayot. They're immoral. The Jewish people are not an immoral people, you know that, right? Kedoshim tihiyu. Be holy, Hashem says. Why? Ki kadosh ani. Hashem says, hold my hand, let's walk together. Let's be friends. Hashem says, let's be friends. If Hashem called Yitro his friend, and he was a convert, I'm sure he could call us his friend, right? So what's up? You know why? Yadehem damim, yadechem damim maleu. Your hands are full of blood. Hashem says, you're dirty, take a shower first, please. How do you take a shower? Not with water. You are with a nida. What tikun you have to do? Tomorrow's a blizzard. Who's ready to roll in the snow 7 times? Who's ready?
I'm ready.
You rather fast for 24 hours or 12 hours or roll in the snow for 3 seconds? We're not ready. You know why? Yeah, we like some inspiration, but Rabbi, at the end of the day, we coup with the Yetzirah. We'll coup with him. He got us. We'll do tshuva later, Hashem. We're good. We're Talmidei Chachamim. I'm Rabbi Akiva. We're Talmidei. I want to see you say that after 120. Don't say after that, Rav Nachman, where are you? Because you don't have peot. He's not pulling you out of Gehinnom. And you're not Chabad. The Rebbe's not giving you $1 for shlichut. You're not going to Gehinnom for shlichut. You're in Rabbi Gadaev shul. If you don't give a donation, he's not going to save you. I'm kidding. How much? What kind of donation? Pidyon. Pidyon HaNefesh. Abotai. Hashem gives you out invitations during your life. You know how many Zer Levatala we did? I'll tell you, some people I meet in my life, I'm surprised. I don't want to say it on the thing because this guy's gonna probably watch the shiur. I know a guy that stopped doing Zer Levatala from the age of 14. Do you know what happens when I heard that? When I heard that he did that. When he was 14 years old. He stopped. He only did it from the age of 12. I took his hands and I kissed it. I said, what? 14? You're like Yosef HaTzadik of the generation or something. He's like 36 years old. And you know what? I always realize this guy has good luck. He's not smart. He has no memory. He always makes it somehow. He always makes it. If you stop at the age of 18, they'll call you an angel. You know why? When the yesod is strong, when the foundation is strong, the building could fall 1,000 times. You could always rebuild. But if you have a beautiful castle and there's no foundation, forget about it. The castle is gone. If we don't fix this avon of Zer Levatala, we're not going to see Mashiach, says the Gemara. You're not going to be there. How do you fix it? And I say this to us, we're the older people. There's only one way. We have to do major tshuva. Not my words, the Zohar's words. Not teshuvah, major tshuva.
Before fix, no?
And you know what? I saw Yeshuot. You know what Yeshuot means? Salvations. I take it the hard way. I don't take it the easy way. Every time you want to do teshuvah, fast. At least for 12 hours from the morning till the night, and at least $84 to tzedakah. At least for every time you did it. It's winter, guys. The day is only 11 hours. Shovavim 5778, the year that Rubashkin came out of jail, and that Trump, which is Esav, Harasha, proclaimed that Jerusalem is the Jewish people, which is basically like saying that Esav Harasha came along and said, I admit that Israel is the Jews. That's what happened. That's what happened when Trump said, I admit that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. It's like basically he said, Esav came to Yaakov and said, I admit the brachos were yours. This is the year 5778. And this is the Shovavim of 5778. Don't let the opportunity slide. Now, I'm going to the Baal Shem Tov. I don't know about you guys. And I'm only going for one reason. Tikun habrit. If it wasn't in Shovavim, I wouldn't have went. If it wasn't in Shovavim, I wouldn't have went. I'm only going for the sake of one thing, Tikun habrit. You guys can do Tikun habrit here too if you don't want to go. I suggest you come. You don't want to come? Okay, it's your prerogative. It's your choice. It's your objective, subjective, what do you want to call it? About how you have to tikun habrit. You want parnasa? Don't come to the rabbi, bless me. I'm telling you how to get parnasa. Do tikun habrit. You want good kids? You don't need a blessing. You don't need to go to any baba. Do tikun habrit. You want refuah shlema? You don't need to go to no rabbi. Do tikun habrit. You want a wife? Do tikun habrit. You want a good wife? You want shalom bayit? Do tikun habrit. You want Torah? Do tikun habrit. Whoever did zera levatala, he can't learn Torah. Torah doesn't go into his head, by the way. You know that, right? Because all your energy left you. That's the power that comes from your dot. Basically, your zera comes from your dot. And Adam HaRishon ate from Etz HaDat. Every time you do zera levatala, you're reliving the sin of Adam HaRishon. You want Torah? Tikun habrit. I'm just going to say one more thing. I know everybody here is a tzaddik. Tzaddik nistar, of course. And I want to bless you. That may you guys succeed during this 6 weeks. Not just to do tikun habrit. We will be the 10 people that will bring Mashiach. We will be the 10 people that will bring Mashiach. Our ahavat chinam. We will be so successful. Hashem will bless us with bracha, hatzlacha, parnasa, yeshuot gdolot, hatzlacha b'chinuch yeladim, shalom bayit, b'chol medimetav, baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen. Lahaniach bracha al betecha.